It's a little ruddy, like
Yeah.
like you feel it the whole time.
Maisha, did you want to go for a walk? Huh? Come on, baby. Let's go for a walk. Oh, big stretch. Let's go, baby. Good girl.
This is supposed to be a video showing you unbelievable riding in Sedona, Arizona, and that was our intentions when we arrived there. We got there mid to late afternoon, so by the time we actually got to the trailhead it was probably 3 o'clock. So our focus was to get on the bikes and enjoy ourselves because there was some cold, wet weather coming, and that might have been our only opportunity. So we left the cameras in the van and we enjoyed a nice 10-mile ride. Right up until the point where my front fork just completely went dead flat. Probably some internal steels failed. So that left me in a position where I could finish the ride, but couldn't really ride hard or do what I'm supposed to do. We moved on to St. George. We spent a day there getting in touch with or stopping at every bike shop in town, and nobody had the seals that I need, of course, because that's how it works, and nobody had a new fork.
It's because we're in a bike town and no one has bikes that are like more than 2 or 3 years old. That's the real reason.
Or no one has cheap bikes. We have cheap bikes. So nobody carries the parts for the cheap bikes. So we called around. We stopped at 4 different places. We couldn't get anything. So we looked up the road to the next town that we were thinking about visiting, which is Hurricane, Utah. And they happen to have a bike shop that coincidentally had been hanging on to a fork that no one else wanted to buy since 2019, and it fits my bike, so it was a little more than I wanted to spend, but got myself a new fork. So
way more than we wanted to spend.
I mean, what do you do? At that point I was kind of trapped. It was either, buy an overly expensive front fork for our budget, or start shopping for a new bike, which wasn't in the cards. I've got the new fork. The plan was to do some mountain biking in St. George or in the area that we're in right now, and the snow put a damper on those plans. It started snowing yesterday while we were at the bike shop, and then last night it really started coming down. Good news is sun's out. Looks like it's gonna be melting. We'll take today off, and definitely by Thursday I think we're gonna be riding these trails. Want to give it a chance to dry because I don't want to be the guy that rides the trails when they're all muddy.
We've been here for like 3 nights now. We finally have a sunny day. It is only 52 degrees, but that's the high it's gonna be for like the next 10 days. So we're trying to take advantage of that. We're gonna go mountain biking today. Maisha's snoozing. She just got in her 3 miles, so she'll be tired while we got mountain biking. Today we're finally gonna hit the trails. It was snowing, the snow melted, we checked the trails, they look like they're good to go riding today. Maisha, do you want mommy and daddy to go riding so you can take your nap?
Okay, so
We're supposed to be riding right now. Instead, he's got a flat tire that he just put on yesterday.
I'm actually impressed how dry the trail is. We got here 3 days ago, and just as we were getting in, it started snowing. Overnight they got easily 2 inches of snow. There was a coating on everything, not just the trail. And we kind of camped out and hung around for 2 days, waiting for the snow to melt and the trail to dry, so we didn't do any damage to it. And I'm impressed. Number one, it's very dry, and number two, it's very hard packed. So when it's wet, we took a walk on it. It's super mud and slippery, kind of like a peanut butter consistency. So I wasn't sure if it was going to dry enough for us to get this ride in today, but luckily it has. So we're gonna get a full ride in. We've been getting a little antsy being cooped up in the van and limited to just hiking with Maisha. So this is good. Get the blood flowing. They got to do that. Not sure what that's all about. More cowbell. 2.7 miles. Blue green. Beginner. Supposed to be fun. Looks like this trail's a top of the Mesa ride. All right, so we're at the top of more cowbell. We're kind of on top of the Mesa after a good 4 to 5 mile climb. You can see the trail we just climbed up right there, and it went this way over Dre's shoulder.
Yeah. So this was the very top of Dead Ringer.
So we climbed Dead Ringer all the way to the top, took a turn onto more cowbell, and that's a 2.7 mile loop that ends and starts right near where we're going to be starting the Gem Trail, which is about a 7 mile downhill flow trail back to the parking lot.
Yeah, and if you're an intermediate rider, the top of Dead Ringer is a little nerve-wracking. At least for me it was.
It's not for people who are afraid of heights. It's got a little ledgy situation going on. Makes it interesting.
I'm not afraid of heights, but I don't trust myself and I fall at stupid places, so it's a little nerve-wracking for me.
Happens. the distance, that's where we're actually camping. So we did that climb up here just now, and we're gonna bomb back down.
So, more cowbell maybe isn't the most technical. It's only 2.7. I'd say it's a green, but it's worth it just for the views. So tack it on to your loop.
Okay, now we're on the gem trail. This is what we've been waiting for. From what I've read, this is supposed to be just shy of a 7-mile trail from top to bottom. Mainly downhill, mainly flow. Can't argue with that. Okay, technical. Oh, close. See why that's downhill only. So this is the point where we part ways. Dre is going to ride off into the sunset to the van, and I will be briskly walking behind her. We're pretty close, actually. Another flat tire. Not sure if it's the same hole that I patched this morning or a new hole, but that's a blown out fork and 2 flat tires in like the last 3 rides. So walk it we will. We were thinking about doing another 3-mile loop, but Wiley's tire went flat again, so that was the decision that was made. Let's go see what Mimi's doing. Is he taking a nap? Yeah? Hi, baby girl. So this is the culprit. This is the entry-level fork that came on my bike. My bike is a giant Fathom. It went completely dead. When I push it down, it stays down and is completely flat. So we got the new one. the bike. It's the RockShox 4. And I've been really excited to dial it in and ride it. Except both times I've ridden, I've gotten a completely flat tire. So we're having a rough streak, but can't complain because that flat tire and that bike shop brought us to this area, which, as you can see, is pretty gorgeous. Got red rock mesas, snow-covered mountains, plenty of space between us and any neighbors on this BLM land. Not bad.